All right, so multiple linear regression data set. Let's get straight into it. This one's going to be fun. We've got multiple linear regression here, same URL, part 2 modeling, section 3 multiple linear regression, 50 startups. This is going to be a venture capitalist fund challenge. All right, so once you've downloaded the file, let's put it into our folder, multiple linear regression. There it is. I'm going to bring up Excel, and we'll open up an Excel right away. All right, let's zoom in a bit. So what do we have here? We've only got 5 columns, but the real interesting thing about this dataset, this is like a very realistic, lifelike business challenge. So you've got 50 companies here, 50 companies in total, and what they have is they have some extracts from their profit and loss statements, from their income reports. So how much did the company in this given financial year that you're analyzing it for, how much in that year did it spend on research and development? How much did it spend on administration, like paying employees, paying executives, and so on? And how much did it spend on marketing? So those are the three major operational spends, I guess. And which state it works in. Does it work in New York, or does it operate in New York or California? And finally, what is the profit? What was the profit of that company for that financial year? And the challenge here is, this is a data set. It's totally anonymized, so we don't know the companies. And also, there's only 50 companies. So there's a venture capitalist fund that has hired you as a data scientist to analyze these 50 companies, or analyze this data set and create a model that will tell the venture capitalist fund which types of companies it is most interested in investing. And their main criteria is the profit. So profit is their dependent variable, the most important variable for them, and these are all independent variables. So you have to create a model which will tell you about profit based on R&D spend, administration, marketing spend, and state. And bear in mind that the venture capitalist fund is not looking to invest in these 50 companies per se. It's not just giving you a data set and then, like, obviously then they would invest in this one because it's got the highest profit. But what they're looking for is, this is a sample, and they want to understand, for instance, where companies perform better in New York or California, all other things held equal, or which companies perform better if you hold these columns equal. Right? Will a company that spends more on marketing perform better, or a company that spends less on marketing? Also, they want to understand, the main thing probably they want to understand is how when they assess companies, do they look for companies that spend more on R&D spend, or on research and development, or companies that spend more on marketing? So which of these two spends yields better results of profit, brings more results of profit? And based on your model that you'll create, they'll set up a set of guidelines for their own venture capitalist fund, and they'll be like, okay, so we're most interested in companies, this is just an example, that work in New York, that operate in New York, and that have a very low administration spend and a very high R&D spend, so the R&D spend has to be much higher than administration and marketing spend, something like that. So basically, you're helping them create a model based off this sample that will allow them to assess where and into which companies they want to invest to achieve their goal of maximizing profit. So there you go. It's already not an obvious data set. It's got many variables, got many records. You can't just tell off the top of your head. You probably can see that they're ordered by profit here, right? But there is kind of a mix all over the place. So let's get into this. It's going to be a fun and exciting section, and I look forward to seeing you on the first tutorial.